Health Science Center with Drs. Brown and Schwab. I first want to thank my wonderful classmates for giving me the opportunity to serve and for treating me like family. I'm so fortunate and feel like the luckiest person in class. By extension, I want to recognize the family members and loved ones who have walked with us on the path to medical school. We could not have made it here in one piece without your support. You all have helped instill in my peers the very best character, morals, and ability to handle success and setbacks with equal grace. Similarly, our thoughtful and approachable faculty, including the student academic support services, deserve major recognition for pushing us to reach our potential by being a constant source of knowledge, encouragement, and tough love. I would not be here today without a certain phone call from Dean Nelson Strother, who, along with Diane Harris, exude the charisma and friendliness that typify UT. I believe the role of an educator is extraordinarily difficult and can be a thankless job, particularly when working with hundreds of obsessive compulsive medical students, because the amount we must learn feels like drinking water out of a fire hose. In particular, I want to extend sincere appreciation to Dr. Owen Phillips, the Dean of Students, affectionately known as the Dream Crusher, who, along with Deputy Hester and Portia Gibbs, facilitated a very successful residency match for our class. And Dean Shree, who's retiring after years of serving the College of Medicine. I want to especially recognize the impact that you have made on getting UTHSC reaccredited, among many other fine accomplishments. We thank you most, though, for your kind nature and genuine concern for our well-being. And finally, our most sincere gratitude goes to the city of Memphis and the patients here for providing us with great memories and a wealth of hands-on learning experiences. On a personal note, I would like to thank the drug company AstraZeneca, the makers of Ingerol, also known as procainol, the drug that is currently preventing my heart from beating out of my chest. For showing how far we've come, I would like to quote Isaac Newton, because today we see more and farther than our predecessors, not because we have keener vision or greater height, but because we are lifted up and borne aloft on the shoulders of giants. Today, we must pat ourselves in the back, as Dr. Martinez once told us. Now, I want to share with you, friends and loved ones, the inside story of our journey through medical education. Graduating from medical school represents such a unique and transformative experience that allows us to see the world through a different lens. For as my father says, the eyes cannot see what the mind does not know. We are attracted to a career in medicine because we choose to pursue science, interaction with people, and working towards a greater purpose. The early stages of medical education, however, are the hardest part and test our resolve by being unforgivingly objective, as our desire and deemed ability in compositions is measured by GPA and performance in high-pressure standardized exams. Our compassion and talents for communicating with people are not considered as much. Nevertheless, we show grit and embrace the concept of delayed gratification by applying our sincere best efforts towards building a foundation of knowledge that we hope one day will allow us to make a meaningful impact for people. Upon entrance to medical school, the academics become more rigorous, but the environment changes to help us adapt. Learning becomes a team sport, no more so than in our class, because science is simply too hard to learn alone. As a result, we become closely connected by working in the trenches of the GED together for 2 hard years. It is possible to see that the years of academic rigor have a purpose other than to ensure that the public can trust the competency of physicians. The stresses of medical school are designed, perhaps unintentionally, to bond each class together. In our shared pursuit of success, we become best friends, experiencing pain and occasionally triumph together. Every 2 weeks, just as we start to become comfortable with material, the reset button is hit, and our knowledge base essentially goes to zero. We never truly feel competent despite trying our best. Our perspective on life also changes, particularly during second year, when 12-hour study days become the norm, and dinner with friends on a Friday feels like a wild night out in town. Fortunately, we are blessed with a selective memory, the ability to forget most of our times while remembering great conversations and parties with friends after assessments. For us, it is a survival mechanism that allows us to stay afloat. The learning curve never stops, and after studying and being at our peak academically for Step 1, we enter the hospital, a foreign world, where our short white coats signify our position at the bottom of the totem pole. As peers, we bond again through these shared experiences. Learning medicine without a context is difficult. However, during the clinical years of UT, we train in an exceptional environment that allows us to learn by seeing a lot, and more importantly, doing. It is a tremendous strength of our school and reminds us of why we committed to this path in the first place. By tagging knowledge to patients, we commit them to memory forever. Years of pursuing excellence in the classroom allow us to experience certain thrills, like bringing life into the world, working in a chaotic shock trauma, and hearing some fascinating life stories from VA patients. All medical students order trackers on surgery, unless you're with Dr. Garrett, in which case you get to hold a human heart during transplant. In facing steep learning curves for rotation, we share a sense of vulnerability with our patients and learn that sometimes the best way to make an impact is simply to listen, as conversation itself is healing. It is truly a privilege to be unquestioningly trusted with people's deepest, darkest secrets. Even clinical medicine, however, can seem routine after long days and nights of the med and many hours spent outside of it, reading endlessly on patients and studying for shelf exams. A Saturday and Sunday off consecutively become known as golden weekends. By diligently pushing forward, though, we strive to show professionalism, defined by the great doctor, Julie Irving, as doing the things you love doing on the days you don't love doing them. The clinical years also encourage us to keep life in perspective. We see the burden of suffering every day and confront our own mortality in the process. We learn how lucky we are simply to be born without disease and to support families, and to have friends who so willingly sprinkle verbal analgesia on us when school becomes overwhelming. As doctors, our character and discipline is reflected in studying for thousands of hours for the right to take care of a person's most valuable asset, their health. In doing so, our understanding of achievement changes. After 4 years, the curse of knowledge becomes apparent, for the more we know, the more we realize how much in fact we do not know. Success is cyclical because it creates only an insatiable desire for more success. This property of it is responsible for the discovery of new knowledge, like better surgical techniques and cancer treatments, and keeps us striving to be better for our patients. The feeling, however, cannot be captured for very long, and ultimately, chasing it is a vicious cycle because no end goal really exists in medicine. So we learn to not place our self-worth in numbers. Relationships, on the other hand, are fulfilling. They keep us balanced and happy, able to pursue worthy goals, such as strengthening the chain of human connection that has carried us thus far. The perspective gained from medical school will allow us to handle the intense challenges of the intern year, perhaps the hardest year of our lives. As our role grows, we gain some privileges and lose others. Our perspective will continue to change, such that we will pine for the days of carefree life at the end of that 4 year, and appreciate that being a medical student has tremendous advantages, such as both Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, spring break, and an inability to be sued. We will soon be blessed, though, with the greatest degree of responsibility for a person's life. It is what we wanted all along. The best part of the journey is that we are never alone, even during our darkest times. On our worst days, we will still mean something significant to our patients, who trust that we will bring forth our best efforts for them. I suggest that we value the present time, for it will never be as good as it is now. Before closing, I want to talk about my favorite part of medical school. Being in Memphis is by far the best thing that has ever happened to me because of my amazing group of colleagues. It is with a tremendous amount of nostalgia that we part ways today, because if the utopia exists anywhere, it is here, where we take our work seriously, but ourselves not so much. The idea of shared success ties us together, because the classmates' good fortune is perceived as our own. Indeed, true character is revealed during times of stress, and my classmates have shown nothing but friendship and support to each other during the most grueling parts of school. We protect the long-standing culture of collegiality at UT. I feel confident moving forward, knowing that such knowledge, power, and responsibility is in the hands of the most compassionate and grounded people that I know, whose intelligence is matched and even exceeded by modesty. For us, medical school is measured not by points on a test, but rather by the rich relationships and great memories of time spent together. In closing, we are officially welcomed to the greatest fraternity in the world. I would like to share a quote by Dale Carnegie, who once said that success is getting what you want, happiness is wanting what you get. To me, it summarizes much of our journey through medicine and through life. I desire most that we maintain our health and continue to have the most enriching relationships and stimulating conversations with all the important people in our lives. Thank you all for the courtesy of your attention. I'd like to introduce Dr. Charles Handorf, the man who literally saved my life from the flu and who taught us many more things about medicine. Thank you so much.